Okay. Am I in? Okay. Can you hang up the phone on me, or should I hang up the phone? Okay, I'm hanging up. Okay. Can, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Hey. All right. Sorry, guys. 10:35. We're striving to be on time, but so I'm fucked up. Anyway, we're here in Hamburg, Germany, with Charlie Koss and Aram Shah, and I also see Maddie the kid has got his mutant ape. Holy shit.
Yes, I do.
That is disgusting.
I have two others as well. Maybe you
You
like
look
those.
terrible.
I had a feeling that's how you'd feel about them.
Um, God, I can't hear you guys very well. I can see if I can grab my headset. But yeah, you do look terrible. But I am very psyched that you did it, and I'm gonna do it too. Hold on, let me get the headset.
Yeah, some people are asking about if you did your mutant ape yet.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Why is it not sounding so good? Sorry. What about now? Can you talk again?
Yep. Can
Maddie?
hear you. Yep.
Fuck.
It might
We
be
can
mine.
we can hear you, Tom.
Yeah?
Can you hear us?
Yeah. I'll just hold it to my ear. I just can't do speakerphone for some reason.
Wait, you can swipe up and change your audio output at the bottom.
Swipe up in settings or just swipe up from the screen?
From the bottom.
From the bottom where you can mute yourself or unmute yourself, swipe that up.
And it says change audio output. Is that working?
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Speaker.
All right.
Thank you. All right. So yeah. So yeah, it's so ugly, but so cool at the same time. So tell me, like, it doesn't affect my ape, right? It's a second ape.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about my dog? Is he okay?
Your dog is separate too. You can either decide to use the serum that you were airdropped to make a mutant derivative of your ape, or you can just sell the serum if you don't want to do that.
All right. And then I looked in my wallet and it's yesterday. Is it not there, or was it coming in stages and groups? Should I check again?
I think it should be there.
All right, I'll check later. But hey, we're not here to talk about apes as much as we love apes. We're here to talk about rockets. And
Yes.
and I see so many faces here that were there on Saturday, and I really just want to thank everyone for showing up. And I want to give a special shout out to the peanut butter crew for representing so hard. Skippy crew,
gang.
but
Skippy gang.
Say, huh?
Skippy gang.
Skippy gang. But I need to give an extra triple fucking super nerd shout out to MT Sang, Michael Sang, who used his drone acting alone to rescue one night stand that was stuck in the tree. He did it by himself, and there's a picture that we posted on on Discord, but I didn't give you the right name. But it's on Instagram and on Twitter. So Michael, thank you. How did you do it, Michael?
Yeah, Michael, can you come up on stage?
Yeah. I walked out there. I went out there on Sunday, and I brought a drone, not knowing whether I was gonna do it or not. And there was like a pizza restaurant underneath that was like open on Sunday that wasn't open on Saturday, and it was like packed full of people. So I had to like wait around for 5 hours to get it get the drone up. But eventually I did. I just did the kite string method that we did last time at Saturdays.
Wow. So you flew a string over with it, and then you yanked on it and broke a branch, or just yanked till it fell down.
Yeah, and I like if anyone saw the drones that were up on Saturday, it was essentially the same drone. It was just doing an FPV drone over the branch, to get the string over, and then yanking it and finessing it.
How long did it take once you got started?
It took me like I think about an hour. I got it down to about halfway, like the nose and the chute got separated from the body, and the nose came down, and I had that, and then the body. Eventually, I had just had to start like ramming it with the drone to get it the rest of the way down.
So, those of you who don't know, Michael is also featured in the first video that we made, that Charlie made about the project. So we got a rocket stuck in that tree, and that was the same technique that he developed for that. So mad props, dude. Thank you. And I love that it's like the dream becomes a reality. That rocket that we got stuck in the tree the first time was an accident, but we got to do it again. And so it was just really an honor to be working with you on that. It's really great. So do we know where is that headed to, the museum, or is that headed to someone's collection? Do we know what
we're shipping that to the owner? He's in Malaysia.
Yep. It's headed for Malaysia. And I think that we really, I think we need to let everyone know that, Michael might be our rocket recovery team captain. I think he might have earned that.
Yeah, for sure. For damn sure. That's it. It's done. So
it's an honor.
Yes, it's official. Yes, we owe you. And Michael's also going to be joining us here in Hamburg in a few days. We're here setting up the space program, which this time it's our fourth mission. This time we're going to Vesta, the asteroid, which is the brightest asteroid in the asteroid belt. That's the asteroid belt that's between Mars and Jupiter. It's sometimes even visible with a naked eye, and was discovered in like 1830 something right here in Bremen. So it's kind of like a homecoming for the asteroid. Why are we going to Vesta? Well, we've run out of gold and other rare earth elements here on Earth. So we're going, and we need those elements so that we can make more cell phones and computers. So we're going to this other world on a mining mission, and that opens on the September 18th is the marathon live demonstration, where we will be demonstrating all of our systems. Earlier that day will be. Can I say? Am I allowed to say that we're going to be doing an exclusive NASA launch that day, or is that classified, or is that is that unconfirmed?
I think you just said it.
So
you heard it here.
So if you're in Hamburg, or even if you're not in Hamburg, but you're the owner of a perfect NASA rocket, we'll launch it on the day of launching that we go to Vesta, and those are the conditions. So it's a very special, rare, only perfect NASA rockets will be launched on that day.
But the schedule for that hasn't been opened yet.
We're going to open that launch window very soon. We'll make a more formal announcement for that launch window opening.
But you heard it here from Tom, some secrets about that launch window.
Oops. So I definitely can't be trusted. Sorry, guys. But that'll also be we'll release that info probably in Sunday's white paper, right? That's the correct place for it. So like everyone else will have to wait till Sunday to hear it, but you heard it here first. Are we gonna also? Is there another Hamburg launch, or is that unclear?
September 10th. 12 rockets confirmed so far. There are 15 slots.
Three slots left.
Wow. Seems like so few, but I think that in all reality, that's what we can manage with all the other preparations for going to Vesta. We can only launch those few, but we're eager to do them, and I hope that we'll get some of you guys to come and participate in that. Really proud of the launch on Saturday and everyone who showed up. I think this is an opportunity to open the floor for some questions that you might have. And also, where do I view the questions? Is that on radio chat?
Hey Tom, we're gonna call people up 2 at a time. So the 2 that are in here that raise their hands, I'm gonna put 3 up here right now. But it's gonna be Mars Yard Dovers is first. Then we'll have Spurgy Poo and then Hummer.
But yeah, if you want, you can leave questions in the chat, the radio chat thread, and we'll be calling those out. But if you want to ask questions in person, just raise your hand and we'll bring you up.
So,
like, yeah,
let's
I
start
see.
with Mars Yard Dover.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
All right. Thanks for talking.
Hey, I know there's a lot of astronauts and they're going to ask a lot of rocket focused questions. Tom, this question is more philosophical.
Oh, thank you. Thank God.
On Saturday,
yes.
when did the rocket factory become performance art? At what time during the day was it ever performance art? How do you define the experience on Saturday as a part of art?
Oh, I love that. I took a performance art class in college because someone told me that it was Ray Dooley was the professor, is that he would pass everyone if they just did a performance. And my best friend Joel just got super drunk and sat on a chair for 40 minutes and talked. And I didn't know what to do, so I put on Stravinsky's Rite of Spring and skateboarded around. And I just cruised around this beautiful wooden dance floor with really soft wheels so it wouldn't damage the floor. And I did kind of an interpretive dance to the Stravinsky Rite of Spring. And it's pretty terrible. I didn't really rehearse it. And I didn't really understand what performance art was, but then I got a couple of books on performance art and I realized that it can mean so many different things to so many different kinds of people. And then, when we do our space program, to me, it's not performance art. In fact, we have a swear jar. If you say performance and you have to put a euro in this jar, you're supposed to say live demonstration of our systems. So in a sense, it's sort of it's almost like theatrical just to say that, right? To say, hey, this isn't performance art. This is a real rocket factory. And in a lot of ways, that kind of deadpan, joking, saying that it's not performance art is the performance in itself. If you can handle that paradox. For me, obviously these are Estes rockets, but they're real rockets. All the same laws of physics apply to these rockets as do the ones that go to the moon. And it's part of NASA has a whole rocketry education department, and you learn it goes from A's to B's to C's to D's to E's and F's, and then the letters go down and they eventually get into missiles that can go across large bodies of water carrying warheads or experimental packages and even to the moon. That kind of stuff is real. So I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know how to define performance art, but I will say this. It's not, art isn't really what you do, it's how you do it. I know a lot of lawyers that are way more creative than artists I know. And I know a lot of artists that are way less interesting than some people who are who write laws or who clean things for a living. So I'm afraid of the word art because most of it is so terrible, and that's why I'm so devoted to making art, because I love it and I hate it when it's done badly. That's not what Marcel Duchamp would say. He would say something more like, art is an emotion, good, bad, or indifferent. An artist can scream from the highest rooftops, I am the greatest artist. but it is only very few artists will ever sell enough work to survive, and even fewer of those artists will be consecrated by posterity. In other words, like history will say they're important or not. So I think it's getting into some pretty tricky zones about like what is art and what isn't art. But I will say this: I'm committed to flying rockets. I've been doing it for so many years. And this is the first time with this project that I've been able to formalize structure and engage a community around something that I've been passionate about for so long. So maybe that's a form of art. People call that, intellectuals call that relational aesthetics or social sculpture or happenings, or performance art. It's all kind of the same thing as far as I'm concerned. Those are just different periods of time that use those definitions to describe those different art movements. But I don't really care what you call it or what I call it. All I care about is that people get together and are like enthusiastic about doing something. And I certainly saw that on Saturday. I mean, I didn't expect all those kids to be there, but that was like, to me, the gift that all those children pushing the buttons and screaming and smiling. That was really fun.
Thanks for doing that, Tom, for letting the kids launch some of the rockets. That was really cool.
It's so cool, right? They were so damn cute. There's some pictures I put up on Instagram of us. I love that. So thank you for thanking me, and thanks the parents for bringing them.
All right, I think we got a question here from Smurgy Poo.
Yeah.
Bring it, Smurgy.
Smurgy Poo, you're on. Oh.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Smurge? All right, maybe should we?
Here, I want to read a question that I got from Lewis. I also can't chime in on the AMA, so if some kind of stranger could forward these questions for me. Number one.
Yeah, Tom, I was gonna run through those. You want to run through those now?
I'm doing this one. I'm doing Lewis's one first.
Can you guys hear me now? By the way,
yeah, but we're gonna get through this one. Just hang on, Smurgy.
Sure.
Smurgy. If a rocket owner does not schedule for launch, is it automatically launched at the grand final? Now, that's a really, really good question. I think it'll be answered in a white paper. But the intention, Lewis, and anyone else listening, is that no one gets like left out. I don't know the answer to that. I think that we're gonna like allow scheduling. But if you don't schedule a launch, you might get left out. I don't know. We will have an answer for that one way or another. Either it'll be launched automatically or you might get left out. I think we have to just announce which one of those it is. I think the white paper isn't released yet. Will it include technical specifications of the rockets, like blueprints, metrics, such as specific impulse, etc.? Seems much more important than the tokenomic stuff we usually find in white papers. I would like to put out a zine about all that, because yesterday, on Saturday, we launched A38s, which is it's like A is the size of the rocket. 3 is the impulse length, I think, and 8 is the delay between the impulse charge and the reverse charge, which the reverse charge is what pushes out the parachute. But I feel like that could be in white paper, and maybe we will, and make it into a zine. I think that's another good question and a provocation, because I'm a zine maker, and a lot of my zine my zine career was destroyed by Instagram. That made me stop doing zines, and now my zine career is being destroyed further by white paper. But I love zines because they're tactile, and I got a great zine. Someone gave me a zine at the launch. But what is a zine? It's just a way of sharing information with your friends. So maybe is white paper is a better version. There will be a zine at some point about all this stuff, and certainly the physics of the launch and the rockets will be in there. I also think that when we have a larger field, like we're scheduling a epic like desert giant like was it called Charlie Mara? Like those big fields in Mars field.
Yeah, the lunar Maria.
Lunar Maria, like
the lunar seas or something like that. The dark parts of it.
We're gonna do something like in Arizona or Utah or something with a giant like endless field of dry flat, like a dry lake with no wind, so we can launch like a lot of rockets at once. And in those places we could use more powerful engines and get higher altitudes because that's maybe a little bit more fun. But we're using the rockets we could manage because we're really committed to 100% recovery. We might lose a couple, but that's not our intention. And also with Michael at the helm of the recovery crew, we're not going to lose. I don't think we're going to lose too many. So, Smurgy Poo, you had a question.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I got to say, first off, with everything that's going on around us with COVID and stuff, it was so nice to be able to just go somewhere on Saturday and just act like there was nothing going on. It was just a regular day, and I probably speak for most of us. We just had an awesome time. It was just everybody was so friendly. Everybody had a common kind of interest, and it definitely went very well. And I have to say, the detail of the rockets themselves is just fucking out of this world. I mean, I never would have expected to see that much detail and the hand strokes and the looks like the do's and the redos that went into kind of fixing things that may have happened along the way. And it blew my mind. And if anybody wasn't there and wants to see images, I'm happy to share those. I just have a couple simple questions, actually. I know you guys have another New York launch scheduled in November. Do you guys anticipate that's going to be the only other New York launch? So that's question number one. Question number two is Antarctica. A lot of us have been talking about it in the Discord group as to, whether we'll be able to attend that launch, and if so, do we have to do it like in a coordinated, like Tom Sachs expedition type thing? So if you could provide some insight on that. Maybe it's too early because that's not till next year, but just wanted to hear some thoughts about that too.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll do a launch in November, which I think is an important time because NFT New York. So there'll be a lot of people in from out of town, and we want to, it'll just be convenient for everyone. So we'll do something. I don't know if it's going to be as much of it like, Bacchanal with a beer tent and the food trucks and everything, but I think it would be really great to do a launch. It's also November. It could be cold. So I can't tell you too much detail about what that launch will be, but we're going to do something. Yeah. And I can't promise that we'll have I can't promise it's going to be as much of a bat mitzvah as last time was. But
things up our sleeve for each of these launches. So stay tuned. We've got something specifically for that November launch.
I think there's going to be something even possibly a little bit more exciting than a launch in November. But let's just say November something will happen in New York City. Not that launches aren't exciting, but something that we haven't done before. Very excited about that. Antarctica, I guess it's summer in January, and I think that's the safe time to go. We are looking at logistics. It's very difficult to do things in Antarctica. It's very dangerous, but we will go. I don't have more info just because to be honest, we're researching it now about different ways. I mean, our plan is to launch in all 7 continents. We will do this. And Antarctica is the biggest pain in the ass. I don't know. Maybe Australia is more of a pain in the ass. Not really. If you're going to Asia, whatever. We're doing it. Stay tuned for more info. And thank you for acknowledging our insane paint jobs, Smurgy Poo, because they are really beautiful, and all those errors are what are a big inspiration. So thanks for acknowledging it. It's a lot of work, and I'm really proud of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Smurge. Hummer, how's it going? You got a question? You there, Hummer? All right, maybe we should go over to Jacob real quick while we get Hummer figured out. Jacob.
Hey y'all. Thanks for
Hey,
inviting
what's up?
Not much, just cutting out of work a little bit. You know, glad y'all are doing another AMA. Glad you liked the zine, Tom. You'll have to trade
Yeah.
with Charlie for the pictured version.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
I
Yeah,
was
I really
dumb
appreciate that, man.
and only brought a couple pictures, but yeah, thank you. Will there ever be a possibility to relaunch a launched rocket?
Hadn't really thought about it. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess
No,
maybe. Huh?
Tom, I think the answer is just it launches once. It's in orbit.
Okay,
Your
cool.
rocket. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. And then will there be
On to its next mission.
It's on
Yeah.
to its next mission.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I was hoping for that answer, but I was just curious because I saw on the website it looked like I could submit a form again. But all right. And then will there be like maybe first 10 or 8 of 8 or 8 patches for those that earn the or the digital?
Yes, both of those patches are coming directly to your wallets this week.
I'm sorry. Will there be physical patches to correspond with the digitals?
When ours comes.
Or should I make one myself?
I mean, I think you can always make one yourself.
Okay, cool.
We're looking at making some patches in the store. I think is the plan right now.
I did see those, but I'm building out a flight suit with a friend of mine, and I'm trying to get as many patches on there as possible.
So one of the things we're working on that's coming pretty soon is like just a Rocket Factory only store. You know, you might have noticed that the
Like the
poster
furniture
and the
store?
picture are a part of our current store. But for that, stay tuned. All of these things, like these patches, they want to also exist in real life and be available to the people who've earned them.
Yep.
So like the furniture store?
In the Rocket Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the Rocket Factory website.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
There'll be a store
Okay,
there,
cool.
but
Oh,
we're
sweet.
still a little behind on that. But currently, wait, are the T-shirts available? What's going on with those T-shirts? Where are those available? They're on the TomSachs.com.
Yep, they're on Tom. Yep, you can get the T-shirt and the poster there because we wanted to make sure everyone had an opportunity to get their hands on them, and we want to deliver the best possible web store for you all very, very soon to the Rocket Factory.
Thank you.
So-
Those were my questions. Thank you all so much. Had a great time on Saturday. Great meeting you all. And the
Thanks
rest
for
of people in Discord.
Thanks for coming. Thanks to the zine and for the liquor and showing up, man.
Yeah, I hope you all like the whiskey. Because personally, I know it's
okay.
bad for me
No
to say, but I don't. All
Cool.
right, thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Hummer, are you there?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. What's up?
Yo. I am running out of battery, so I'm gonna go quick, and I'm in my.
Oh, no.
Hear me talk about NFTs. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, okay, cool. So, Tom, I'm still buzzing off Saturday, man. It was awesome. Thank you so much. the Skippy, the surprise Skippy launch was epic. I mean, to be honest, that's the coolest thing I've seen anybody do for a community, for everybody that's behind the project. And the whole thing started with Skippy because Skippy's been on the floor prices for a while, and it shouldn't be. So we're trying to boost it. The quirky nerd brown color is right up my alley, and I think it's the coolest shit ever. So I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say
to your whole face, being very careful to keep
shit.
your nose so that you could breathe.
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Okay, so also I wanted to say that I brought my wife to the party, and she, up until that point, she didn't understand what NFTs were. She was sick of hearing me talk about them, and after meeting Maddie the Kid and Charlie, she now thinks I'm an NFT celebrity or something. So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
You are.
And she's been escorted into the world because of you. So thank you for that. And
Awesome.
last thing is so I know why people love Skippy. I know why I love certain things about the color and the rocket and things. But what is your reason for including it into this project?
I love peanut butter. I mean, it's really but there is Jif. There are other peanut butters that exist. To me, Skippy's the best. It's got the best graphics. I've always loved Skippy. I've got like a collection of some vintage Skippy jars, and I'm kind of like into it. All the brands that I choose, are things that, like, if I buy peanut butter, I'm buying Skippy. It's not like there's no other brand. It's called brand loyalty, brand identification, whatever you want to call it. So it's kind of my thing, and the colors are just right. So yeah.
Can I ask one more thing, Tom?
Yeah, and also when I do if in the tea ceremony, and if you're, I don't know how geeky you want to get into the world of Tom Sachs and peanut butter, but you can buy the book called Tom Sachs Tea Ceremony, and there's like there's sun at midnight. It's a Ritz with peanut butter on it. And you'll see like me making a perfect wave form out of peanut butter, like a surfing wave on a Oreo cookie. So you can kind of like see that. There's a whole spread about that, and it's Skippy for that too. So
awesome. I love that. Last thing I have is NFT in New York City. I think it's going to be pretty epic. I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah,
I love that you're launching that. I think it's a perfect idea, and I would love to. I'm definitely signing up for launch there as well. But I think it's going to be more of a pagan ritual than a bar mitzvah, though. I think it's going to be a bunch of young kids going crazy, which could also be awesome.
Cool.
So I not that that's going to be me, but I think that it could be really huge. And I think that we could have some big names there. I'm really excited about it. So looking forward to that. Yeah, man, cool. Definitely. So thanks, man. I appreciate everything.
Thanks, man. Thanks for turning out.
Cheers.
All right, Tom. We're just reading through the chat. There's one really good question here about phase 2. Someone read the article very closely this week and said, it's Lewis, very close read. You said, in the article we talked about the rockets that we launched on Saturday are now in orbit and they're awaiting instructions for phase 2. Did I read that right? And the answer is yes, you did. The launched rockets are in a holding pattern in low Earth orbit, awaiting the announcement for phase 2, which is going to be coming soon. I think November.
Stand by for mission objective.
Stand by, and I think that's maybe all we can speak to at the moment.
Yeah, I really dying to tell you guys about it, but that's just you're gonna have to wait.
All right, I think we got a question from Gregism. Greg, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yep.
Excellent. First of all, thank you so much for picking my meme. That was awesome. I really appreciate getting in on this thing based on memery. So thank you for that. And it's a cup of noodles body which is pretty exciting because if I remember correctly, in ISRU, you were kind of working on some projects using cup of noodles.
Yeah.
Did anything ever come out of those?
Yeah, in fact, they're all coming out in there's a big cup noodles project happening in Hamburg as a component of the space program. So if you come on the 18th to Hamburg, or there'll definitely be coverage on Instagram, or I don't know exactly how we're covering it in social media, but I would say follow Tom Sachs on Instagram for more photos about the space program specifically. But yeah, there's a lot of cup noodles going on. So like, I would say, you know, I don't want to like spoil anything or like unfairly pump up the cup noodles enthusiasm, but cup noodles are fairly well represented in the space program, um, in a kind of meaningful and very intimate way.
Well, that's an awesome answer to my question. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Awesome, Tom. All right. 160 VC, I think. You got a question for Tom?
Yeah, I do. I have a bit of a follow-up question to the hint that was just given about phase two. Since the launch windows are quite a bit beyond November as well, is it better to launch earlier than later to not miss out on any of that phase two action?
That's an awesome question, and I think that's something that we're definitely going to be addressing in our Medium articles going forward. But as with everything in the whole rocket factory, everything is like a pretty tough decision. But the biggest thing is that we allow the decision to be made by the rocket factory astronauts. And so I think it's a really good question, but that's definitely something that we are considering, and you'll have the option.
Yeah, and I think the main thing, and we were just talking about this last night. We had a long, kind of heated debate on minimum sleep, and it's always frustrating to have those conversations when you can't be creative because you're in a reptilian brain state. But the one commitment that we at the Rocket Factory always make is about fairness. So we're trying we don't want any all the surprises that our intention, okay, this is our intention. If we fuck it up, sorry, but our intention is always that the surprises always make it better for everyone. And I don't want people feeling like, oh, I should have held on, or I should have done it earlier, or should have done it later. If I'd only known, I would have behaved differently. We're really trying to make our new functionality, what is it called? Reverse compatible. Like we're really going to try and make it that no one gets screwed because they launched early or late. I think that's right. I mean, obviously, if you go early, you're always going to be rewarded in every way. Just because you go first, it's just more special. But yeah, I think that's it. Aram, Charlie, do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, it's always about making sure that we're fair in the opportunities. That, like, yeah, I think you've outlined the guiding principles really well.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome question, and just we'll definitely keep reading the Medium articles as they're coming out every week.
And we're also always listening to all of you.
Yeah, you guys give great feedback and ask really good questions.
Yeah.
All right, it looks like we got a good question here from Cool Cat in the chat. First, hope your BF is doing well. We wish him, all the best. Tom, we got a question here about the backstory of a name, and the name is Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, come on. Did you even Google that one? That's an easy one. Fortress of Solitude.
Okay, to be fair, I think the person has some idea, because Cool Cat also asked if Fortress of Solitude can be fast-tracked for an Antarctica launch, which, you'll have the opportunity, Cool Cat. just like everyone else. But
Yeah.
Tom, we'll still give you the floor to answer. And
Isn't Fortress of Solitude like where like Superman goes to be by himself?
100%.
That's right.
Right. I mean, but it's just so well represented in DC Comics, and also like Mike Kelly, who's a great artist who died, made a whole piece about a series about the Fortress of Solitude. But also, this Fortress of Solitude is a metaphor because Superman is formed in a lot is almost like as a classical character. He's a god in Greek mythology, and that he's immortal, and he's that he's insurmountable, undefeatable. Yet even he has kryptonite as something that he is a weakness, as his Achilles heel. But also, Superman's a neurotic, and he goes to his Fortress of Solitude to chill out, get away from all the hustle and bustle, and Lois Lane trying to get in his pants, but he, is uncomfortable about that because he doesn't feel like right about it. Yeah, I'm really psyched for season 2 of The Boys. When's that coming out? Anyway, that's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
Awesome. All right, we got another really good question from Crunch in the chat. He was asking about certain rewards for Franken-Rocket creativity, and he was wondering if there would be any reward for creativity in Franken-Rockets. And the answer is yes.
Well, and it has already occurred through a lot of our airdrop giveaways.
Yep, and just we'll keep you posted, but that's definitely, where creativity shines.
And I would also say so much of how value and rarity applies in this project has kind of been in the hands of the community, so the Frankens, it's interesting to see what all is being made. And I think some of that creativity being in your guys' hands is what makes this project, to me, so interesting and so fun and so rewarding.
Yeah, I like Dirty Mike's making some like ultra rare Frankens. I think it's really weird and crazy and great.
Yeah, also the storytelling around some of these Frankens has just been like incredible. You really get like a really good sense of where people are coming from.
Maddie, I think you were going to chat.
I was going to say part of how we chose the first 10 was also like creativity around Frankens too, and that'll continue like throughout. Whenever we're choosing certain things, we'll always keep creativity in mind.
Cool.
Last question.
All right. Last question coming in from Hummer. A follow-up. He's asking about tell us more about stickers, and we'll just say stay tuned.
They're like, also, if you have a sticker, you just have your hands on like the coolest, rarest thing. So also just enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like, there are only 100 stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, stickers are really, really rare. People are spending them like they're not aware of what they can bring, but it's meaningful.
Definitely.
Wait, I saw another question from William Tell, and I can't remember what it was. Well, anyway,
I think it was just around store stuff, like if the store stuff will be available in Hamburg. The store stuff is available easiest now through the web store.
Yeah, that's the best place to get it. There'll be some things available in Hamburg, but the web store will have everything. So that's the best place. It's safer bet. So, So, hey, I want to thank you for tuning in. I also want to thank, I'm sorry, the first person that asked me the philosophical question about performance art. I love that. Let's, remind ourselves that this is an opportunity to talk about art issues and about what things mean, like why we choose these rockets, why we choose these colors, what it means for art and the studio that this is part of. I mean, remember, this is a tremendous project, and it's created by you all in the community. This project does not exist without you, but it is also part of the studio's work that we've been doing for 30 years. And next couple weeks we'll have our fourth mission. I hope that y'all can come and see our trip to Vesta, the asteroid, our mining mission, see our astronauts explore that new world, and hope that you understand that that they're integrated, that the space program is part of the studio and the studio is part of the space program. So stay tuned. Think of questions for next week. I'm really happy to talk about this endlessly with you, and I'm so grateful for you that you've tuned in and you're interested enough to keep listening. So thanks, and let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Any questions we didn't get here, we'll catch you in the chat.